Good. So,
Right.
one. All right. I'd like to call to order the Town of Fraser's Town Board meeting. Can I have a roll call, please?
Nat Havens.
Peggy Smith.
Julie White, Katie Fisher, Katie Souls.
And Brian Cirkvanek. Could I entertain a motion to approve the agenda?
I move to approve the agenda.
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All right. And now for the consent agenda, which contains the minutes for April 17th, 2024. Could I hear a motion to approve?
So moved.
I second.
Further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. All right, now we'll move on to open forum. This is business not on the agenda. If no one is in the room, and we have one person online. No one online. Okay. We will keep moving then. On to discussion and possible action regarding United Business Bank updated approved signers. Antoinette.
So this is after the election, most of this meeting agenda is just reappointments. So United Business Bank does require us to change the signers at the bank. So what we will do is we will remove the previous mayor, Philip, and the previous mayor pro tem, Eileen, and we will appoint instead, it'll be Brian Cirkvanek and Peggy Smith as our additional signers at United Business Bank. And they require us to have a motion in our minutes in order to recognize this at their bank. So I would request, I've written a motion if somebody would like to read what I have written.
Okay, I would like to make a motion to update the signers at United Business Bank, removing the previous town mayor, Philip Vandernale, and Mayor Pro Tem Eileen Waldo, and adding newly elected Town Mayor Brian Cirkvanek and Mayor Pro Tem Peggy Smith. All other current signers will remain on the account. Town Manager Michael Brack and Town Clerk Antoinette McVeigh. Finance Director Lorraine Waters will retain access to the account, but will not have the ability to sign.
I second the motion.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Those against? All right, motion passes. Moving on to resolution 2024-0502, Public Arts Committee appointment. Antoinette.
So this also, along with the election, the Public Arts Committee has to be reappointed every 2 years. The committee members are able to be reappointed as many times as the board desires, as many times as that committee member would like to be reappointed. It is a 2-year term. The PAC consists of 5 to 11 members, so we do have leeway in there as to how many people are appointed to the PAC. And then, so the PAC should meet at least once every quarter. They really meet every month. The PAC really does an amazing job, and they really are moving the arts in Fraser. They do the Zephyr Chair program, they do the sculpture program, they do the mural festival, Fire and Ice. They're very, very busy. They do a great job in the town of Fraser. They do get paid $75 per meeting that they attend. And so as far as applications go, I did put the applications in there from the previous pack, appointment from 2 years ago. We did not make them complete another application for this round. So the same people do want to be reappointed, which is Steve
That's great.
Fitzgerald, and he's the chair. And then Callie Ray, April Obermeyer, Anastasia Sesnick, Cynthia McCoy, and Carrie Crandall. We did receive one additional application after the deadline from Robin Barrett, and I did receive this after the packet was posted, but I did update the packet to include her application in the packet. So up to the board if they want to entertain and appointing Robin, since she did miss the deadline, but that's really up to the board. The deadline is somewhat arbitrary. It's just really for the packet. So it's really up to the board if you guys want to appoint the same members. None of the members go back out, but these are the applications that we do have that are from interested parties for the pack.
Okay, so let's go.
Does anyone know Robin?
Mhm. Uh-uh.
Um,
So right now there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 members.
yeah.
Seven.
7 would be good. I
Yeah.
think that would be good.
Kind of round it out in case they have to vote on something.
Right. I didn't get a chance to reach out to Steve. I wanted to know if he's talked to Robin, but she does mention that she was asked to be on. So I'm just wondering who asked
She
her.
mentioned it was Anastasia that asked her if she would be interested in applying.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I would say it's a pretty good vote of confidence if somebody on the pack already is asking her to do so. So.
Yeah.
She is a local artist as well.
Mhm.
I know Steve in the past was concerned about getting too many, but 7 is a good number. I think 7's about max.
And it can help too with volunteer efforts and things for the events that they really help put on.
Mm-hmm,
So there's definitely value in numbers.
yeah, good. Mm-hmm. Okay,
So I will just say the resolution does not have Robin's name on there. So if we
Okay.
do want to, if you do want to appoint her, you'll just have to amend that agenda or that resolution to include her.
okay.
How's everybody feel?
Well,
I think we're good.
Good.
I'd like to make a motion to approve resolution 2024-0502, confirming appointments to the Public Arts Committee. And it will include Steve Fitzgerald. These are all returning: Callie Ray, April Obermeyer, Anastasia Sesnick, Cynthia McCoy, Carrie Crandall, and the additional applicant,
Robin Barrett.
Robin
Barrett.
Barrett,
Second.
making 7.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any against? All right, motion carries.
Awesome, good.
All right, resolution 2024-0503, Joint Facilities Oversight Committee appointment.
So every 2 years, again, with the election, reappointment of the Joint Facilities Oversight Committee. So this is the JFOC is what it's called in short, is the board that represents the wastewater treatment plant, which has the 3 entities, which is the town of Fraser, which we are the managing entity of the treatment plant, and then it's Grant County Water Sand District number 1, and then Winter Park Ranch also are the 3 entities. So this committee is the one of the 3 entities that makes up the Joint Facilities Oversight Committee. This is a appointment that runs in your tenure. So it's 3 trustees that sit on the board or on the committee. Katie Souls was appointed 2 years ago when Philip Vandernail resigned, but Katie's term will continue for the rest of your term until your term expires. And then that allows us, so there's 2 trustees that would be appointed to this board. And the JFOC meets, it's the second month of each quarter on the second Thursday from 3 to 5, and it's here at Fraser Town Hall. We do virtual options and in person. So if you're appointed, you do have the option to do either one of those, just like we do at these meetings. So we are looking to appoint 2 additional trustees to this committee and potentially consider 1 alternate in case one of the trustees that's appointed is not able to make it. And it can be the mayor or the trustees. The code does not specify who it is, but it's just trustees.
Antoinette, do you know if the alternate has voting ability on the GFOC?
You know, our board doesn't, the code doesn't say, and I apologize, I didn't look that up.
I'm sorry to ask you curveball questions, but we can follow up on that too.
If the
And I don't
alternate
even
can
recall
vote,
the,
Can vote. Do you know?
All the rest of them had 3 votes. So the town having 3 votes,
whoever's there.
yeah, it makes everything pretty even. But if you do elect, have an alternate, then yes, they can go to the meetings, but you get 3 votes.
you still get 3.
Well, I'm gonna be on vacation down in the desert, and if I'm somewhere where I have reception, I will participate on Thursday the 8th. But if there is an alternate appointed, they could get their feet wet with that one.
No, I have done the budgeting and the accounting for the JFOC for as long as the JFOC was in existence. So I would like to throw my hat in the ring to be one
Wonderful,
of the trustees.
great.
Yeah, I'd be happy to be on the committee as well. I mean, I obviously don't have the experience, but I'm willing to learn.
Brian, do you feel like you need to be on it?
I'm happy to be on it. I do, I get the impression that it seems like a role for the mayor, so unless you guys feel differently, I suppose.
I'm sorry, I missed that. part.
It does, I believe the mayor has always been on it. So I am happy to do it.
Okay. Julie, would you be willing to be the alternate
Yeah,
then?
I'll do alternate.
Okay,
Three.
great.
Okay.
So I'd like to make a motion that Brian Cervanic and Nat Havens be our appointees with Julie White being the alternate.
Second,
Any further discussion? All in favor?
I,
Any opposed? All right, motion carries.
great, super. Thanks, Julie.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
Yeah, so it's next Thursday, the 8th here.
Thursday the 9th, just to clarify.
Thursday at night.
Yep.
Wednesday's the 8th. That's
Yep,
the
there you
special
go.
planning commission meeting.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Got a lot of meetings to keep track of.
Jeez, everybody's supposed to be gone in May. All the businesses are closed. Not all of them.
You want
So I will say that I will send out their save the date calendar invites for those days, so you'll have those on your calendar. So that way you'll know when they're coming up.
Great, thank you.
Welcome.
All right, moving on, Colorado Municipal League Legislative Committee appointment. Michael.
Thank you, Mayor. So we are looking to reappoint with for the CML Policy Committee. The previous Board of Trustee that was on this was Eileen Waldo. And I think that she enjoyed being on this. This provides a really good opportunity to have an elected official representing the town's interests and being a part of the conversations with the Colorado Municipal League to discuss state legislature and those impacts that can come down to the local level. There's also really good opportunities to go to the Colorado Association of Ski Towns meetings that we have, I believe twice a year. And policy and advocation for policy is definitely a part of that meeting as well. There is really good collaboration between CML and CAST for lobbying for the interests of mountain communities. So it's a really good opportunity to have someone with that at the annual CML conference that's coming up in June. They'll have a policy committee meeting with during that conference as well that you can be a part of. But it's a really great way to learn about state policy and engage in the conversations and ask questions and talk about what you agree with and what you don't agree with. And it's very valuable and it's good to have that elected representation on this type of committee. I'm sure Eileen would be happy to talk to you about it. And That's really it in a nutshell. Basically, all food expenses, travel, lodging will be covered by the town. Um, and the meetings, the required time for this commitment is usually once every month or two they have a meeting, and you can attend those meetings either in person or remotely. So again, it's just a great opportunity to learn about what's going on in the state and what's come down the line.
Yeah, so only a certain number of bills actually make it in front of the state legislation, and one of those that didn't make it this past year was the transfer tax for statutory towns to be able to add that back in, because right now we can't, and even if we switch to home rule, the grandfather clause wouldn't let us have it. So that's one of those bills that could be very important to Fraser, and this is kind of one of the first steps to get it to become a bill. So I think it's a hugely important job, and I think it'd be super interesting as well. So I'd love to hear who would be interested in that.
I mean, I'm interested. I'm on a lot of this like with the Board of Realtors. And my in-laws, of course, were involved in the state legislature, so I'm familiar with a lot of how that works. So yeah, I'm definitely interested in it.
Great.
Right?
I would love, Julie
Would
to
love to have it.
CML Policy Board.
That's awesome.
Was that a motion?
That's a motion.
Yeah.
Thank
Okay.
you. I'll make that motion to.
I'll second.
All right, further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, motion
Great.
carries. Thanks, Julie.
Yes,
That's
and just
wonderful.
real quick, there was an email today that there's a District 12 meeting on the 22nd of May in Granby. So I'll go to that as
Cool. That was all right.
Awesome.
I will get you registered for that then.
Cool.
Great.
You're right on it.
All right, 17
ready.
minutes into the meeting and we are on updates.
Going.
Good.
Yeah.
well.
Oh, is there?
Yeah.
Oh, missed that one. All right, Board of County Commissioners discussion items. Now it's gonna take a half an hour.
So I have a couple recommendations for this, but basically at the May 15th meeting, we will have representation from the Board of County Commissioners to come and provide an update to the town. One thing I want to talk about is the legislation going to the state level as far as minerals and minerals mining here in the county. And so they'll provide an overview of that and kind of get you up to speed and let you ask some questions and such. But we were looking at just in addition to that item, if there's other items that the board would like to have them bring an update for, that's the whole point of this discussion. This Parkway. Excellent. So we can have them provide an update on the Parkway. One other thing that I thought would be of value is the ballot initiative going this November for the lodging tax change. If you're not familiar with that, there's currently a 1.8% lodging tax that applies to all short-term rentals, bed and breakfast, and hotels in the county, with the exemption of Winter Park. So in Fraser, there is a collection of 1.8% of that sales tax for those lodging activities that gets remitted to the county. We get a little bit of those funds through some different grants and things. So we got some funds for that through they give us some money for our events, and they also give us some money for I just had it, some public art initiatives. But what they're looking at changing is at the November ballot is the discussions right now are to increase that 1.8 to 2%. And based on recent changes in legislation that lets you diversify how you can use your lodging tax, they are looking at putting on the ballot, one, the increase from 1.8 to 2%, but also being able to use those funds for the impacts from tourism, which are affordable housing initiatives, childcare initiatives, public transportation. Yes, yep. Emergency services. I think there's discussion about wildfire mitigation in there as well. With a reservation by law, you have to have at least 10% of the funds that will continue to go towards tourism and marketing as well. So that could be something to have a conversation about as far as the board's priorities, how they would like to see those funds being spent, especially when they are collected from our local businesses and homes. So
Is
something
that
else I would
tax
throw there.
sunsetting then?
It is set to sunset in 2026, so the other part is extending this tax. I'm not sure about the extension date, but I'll look that up.
So when you said that Winter Park is exempt, is that the resort or the town?
The town of Winter Park's the boundaries, because they're a home rule and they've adopted their own lodging tax. And I believe they just recently increased their lodging tax instead of increasing their short-term rental fees. So they increased their lodging tax.
Interesting.
Went that route, which is great. And it's definitely one of the benefits of going home rule. It's probably one of the biggest benefits of going home rule. But yeah, Winter Park is exempt from the county's revenues for that. So Winter Park retains their own revenues for the lodging.
What other issues do we have with the county right now?
Well, Katie,
That would make your life easier if we solve them.
I mean, the parkway is a big one. There's going to come down to, there's discussions about the value of the parkway to the town versus the county. While it's important to recognize that Fraser remits a lot of sales and property tax to the county. So at some point, there will be discussion as far as cost sharing for that road to go through, in addition to having a paved like off-road bike trail along that road as well. Definitely a benefit to the town of Fraser, definitely a benefit to the county as well. So those conversations are coming, so you know.
That was a heated discussion when I sat on this board back in the 90s, and they refused to take action because there were a couple voices out there saying you can't go through there, you can't go through there. But so
They've
now
come
they're
a
going to
long
put
way.
the cost back on us.
Was it approved?
It-
Anyway,
It's approved. They got an
To some
extension
degree.
for their 404 permit with the Army Corps of
Okay.
Engineers, and they're working to acquire one last piece of right of way, is my understanding. So it'd be good just to get an update on that. And so those are definitely two things that I would encourage. And Katie, you're definitely in agreement with the parkway. So things to think about for Fraser. Our priorities that was established at the board retreat last year, and even before: housing, childcare. There's definitely interest in the town of Winter Park getting support for transportation dollars, because they are basically subsidizing the
Yeah.
bus stops that are in unincorporated Grand County.
in transportation, that's an impact.
It is, and it's a significant amenity, and it's an expensive amenity.
Yeah,
I think we're up to $1 million now for Fraser
Okay.
services
okay.
a year for transit. But yeah, I just want to open that up to see if there's anything else that you would like them to come prepared to talk about.
How about kind of an update of what's going on at Byers Peak Ranch?
Sure. That sounds good.
Yeah, that would be good. And his lake,
The what?
the lake, he's building kind of a
Oh.
lake, giant
Right.
water storage lake, but have
The augmentation storage?
something. Be good to know.
Okay. Got it. Any other items? All right.
All right. Updates.
I have some updates. Does anyone go last? I'm always going to go last.
Thank you for the orientation yesterday to manager and staff that had to grind through that.
Yeah.
It was educational.
Yes.
For us, yes, it was very educational for us.
So trying to focus on having more caffeine though.
I just have one update. So I got an email from Michael Chapman at CDOT. He's going to be requesting, I'm trying to see if it's a grant or whatever. Basically, I'll just read this email. CDOT is going after a significant grant for avalanche control statewide, including US 40 Berthoud Pass. Initially, we were looking at conducting a comprehensive study of US 40 overberthed to identify options for fixed and permanent solutions in areas like the 300s, excuse me, on the west side of the pass. And this is going to Pete Buttigieg, so this is going to be federal dollars that they're asking for. So he asked if I would write a letter of support, and I have written that letter. So I don't feel like I need to read it to you guys, but if you guys want to read it before agreeing to send it, I've got it here, or I don't know if we have copies of it. So just wanted to bring that up. Any questions about it?
But the tunnel looks cheaper today than it did 30 years ago.
That'd be something. Yeah, I referenced the 4-day closure over MLK holiday weekend and the loss of, tourist dollars and all that kind of stuff. So, other than that, it was more or less the form letter that he had sent. Right. We don't have to have like a motion for that, do we?
I think it's good to have a motion to, the board approves, this letter of support for this.
Do you guys want to take a look at it first, or?
Have it. Somebody want to see it?
So I will say that avalanche mitigation is a huge deal on the pass, and the more you can support that, the better. I know they're doing a lot of work to try to figure out how to best address the avalanches that have been experienced this last winter. Brian and I have been a part of those conversations, and yeah, any improvements for avalanche mitigation is huge, and it preserves our economy. It gets the door open faster for the rows of people trying to get here, because it is very hard on businesses when that goes down. And it's very frustrating. It's very dangerous, very scary for people. And I don't think you want that experience for people coming here for a tourism economy.
Okay, I'll make a motion that Brian send a letter of support for this. Is it legislation or is it?
Federal grant.
Okay, federal grant dollars for avalanche mitigation on Berthoud. They have a mayor and the town of Fraser.
I'll second it.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, thanks, guys.
Yeah, thank you.
Right?
I can provide a couple updates. That's all right. Downtown Development Authority applications are up on the website being advertised. If you go to FraserColorado.com right now, it'll pop up and it'll force you to apply. I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
It'll link you to the application there. So please, anyone that you think would be a good representative on the Downtown Development Authority for these funds for downtown projects and prioritizing those projects and advocating for the downtown revitalization and just enhancements to the area, please direct them to the website to apply for that. Applications will be up until May 28th till noon. Then they'll come down, and we'll be bringing those to the June 5th meeting for consideration for the board. And on our website, all the different requirements and everything is on that webpage, and it's under boards and committees under government. Otherwise, the pop-up would take you right there.
Yeah, it's great.
So great opportunity for people to get involved, economic development, and really look at helping guide this downtown revitalization effort.
Super.
We are looking at some board retreat dates. I will shoot out a doodle poll tomorrow. But we are looking at 2 dates that I just want to kind of throw out there for your initial digestion of on a Thursday and Friday. Right now we're reaching out to a couple different communities, Avon and Eagle, who both have downtown development authorities that are up and operating. And we're looking at May 23rd and 24th and June 6th and 7th for that. We're looking at doing a half day for two days, 2 half days in a row instead of one long painful day like we did last year. And give you a chance to kind of walk around and look at a town that you might see some things that you would like to see in Fraser. So more to come on that, and I'll be sending out a poll for that. So that is forthcoming. We are working on some joint meeting dates for a joint meeting for Winter Park and Fraser. Looking at June, there's some conflicts with the days that we had before, but hopefully we can iron something out here soon. But I just want you to know that is coming. If there are agenda items that you would like to have for consideration on that, please let myself or Brian know, and we'll talk to Winter Park about it. That is all I've got.
What date were you looking at, Michael?
For the board
For the
retreat,
joint meeting with Winter Park. You said you were looking a couple.
we were looking at the week before CML, but I don't know if it's gonna work. Keith is actually out of town that week. So I don't know. We'll push out some more dates and see what can get a few options that can maybe work, and we'll shoot them out to you guys.
Any other updates? Okay. We can move into executive session.
I move to enter into executive session. Executive session for the purpose of determining positions relative to matters that may be subject to negotiations, developing strategy for negotiations, and or instructing negotiators under CRS section 24-6-402 4E regarding joint facilities oversight committee agenda review to include town manager Michael Brock, wastewater treatment plant superintendent Joe Fuqua, and public works director Paul Johnson.
Second.
Nice. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. Do we end that? Town hall afterwards, we will just adjourn. So thank you everyone for listening.